It's been a while over the States period, but I'm back for the newest installment of PokeClass. Welcome to episode 23, which will be packed with 2 full tournament reports for both Manchester and Nottingham. Both were a great turnout, with the latter being a better result for me. A lot has been happening in the TCG world also, with news about the earthquake in Japan affecting organised play, to what decks have won states from around the world. This episode will be too packed to cover these topics this week, as today is about how I got on at states. Let's get to it. I've never been up to Manchester to play before, but did expect a great pool of players to turn up, and I wasn't wrong. After a 2.5 hour train ride to the venue, we gave in our deck lists and began. We ended up playing 5 30-minute single game rounds with a top 4 cut. Top 4 is a little tight, as there is a tiny margin for error, with a single loss meaning you could almost miss it. My chances of getting off to a good start are then made even harder, as my first round is against Freddie. Freddie has been playing for a long time, and is considered one of the best players in the UK, consistently top cutting at all Premier events. I start with Garchomp, and he starts Lucario active with Ambipom on the bench. He goes first and can't get the donk, which puts my mind at rest. I go and collect it for my own Ambipom, Garchomp and Crobat to Flash Bite and Snap Attack his Lucario to KO. This puts me at a prize advantage straight away. After I spray a key Azulf drop, which after the match tells me was to get bronze on, he goes with the Dragonite to revenge KO my Ambipom. This puts me in a worse position, losing it early, as I chose not to run my own Dragonite. The prize exchange goes back and forth, and when time is called, it's tied. He manages to Dragon Rush one of my bench to pull the prizes in his favour, and I need to take a prize next turn to bring it to a potential sudden death. I play Twins to get Garchomp from the deck, and when I place it into my hand, I realise my misplay. I should have used the VS Seeker in my hand to grab Arons from the discard pile to recover Ambipom and Snap Attack his Garchomp for KO. Having missed this, I can't take the prize I need and I go 0-1. Knowing that I had such a good match with a very good player didn't dampen my spirits, and next round I'm against the only lost guy in Masters. I start well with LUXRAY active and the LV.X in my hand. He starts Smeargle, so I have no idea what he's playing, until he benches Scarcely and Spiritomb. He proceeds to Spiritomb lock me after I went first and passed. This means I could level up the LUXRAY when play came back to my side of the field, along with benching Garchomps. At one point, he managed to have a Haunter with double Psychic Energy benched, and had an active Garchomp ready to rush. All I needed was the LV.X. I searched my deck with SP Radar for one of the 2 I run, but find them both prized. This puts me in a bad position with the fully loaded basic Garchomp active, so I retreat into something else and pass. He gets the Gengar Prime out, now with 3 energy, and sends 3 Pokemon straight to the Lost Zone, including my Dialga G LV.X. From here I take more prizes with LUXRAY, and twice I drew Garchomp from the prizes, just for him to Lost Zone. It comes down to time and he needs to put 1 more in the Lost Zone to win. I empty my hand so he can't hurl it, and I knew he didn't have Seeker because of Trick Reveal. This leads to time, and I win on prizes. A fairly close call against Gengar, and I'm at 1-1, facing a BLG next. There's not much to say about this game, since I start poorly with mainly recovery cards, such as Junkarm and VS Seeker clogging my hand. From here, he just uses Blaziken LV.X to KO all my basics before I had the chance to level up. Down to 1-2, and I'm not going to make cut. Next round is against Carl Blake, fresh from a 7-2 showing at ECC, so I know it won't be easy. Things go as any LUXRAY mirror match should, with a prize exchange beginning straight away. I pull some trickery with LUXRAY GL on his Ucti LV.X and break the lock a little too early just to fall into a Dragon Rush next turn. He sprays my key Bright Looks, and again, my choice not to run Dragonite lets me down. By the time is called, I only get 1 extra turn. I can't take a prize or lock him to make it sudden death, and he Dragon Rushes again for the last prize. This puts me down to 1-3, which is not the way I wanted to start states, but playing good players and making misplays happens. Last round, I'm paired against a new guy playing Charizard. Another game when there isn't much to say, but it went my way this time. He started with Infernape 4 to my Roserade, and I poison binded him for about 4 turns because of my slow setup. From here I managed to KO his leveled up Infernape and take control by KOing Ninetales and Charmeleons before he draws into any energy. This means I can take 6 straight prizes to end the day at 2-3. From this tournament, I've learned what to take out and replace in my list, ready for the next weekend. Nottingham is one of the best places to play in the UK, with the majority of the best players turning up to play. We end up with 40 Masters, pretty good for a UK tournament, and play 6 rounds with a top 8 cut. First round is Vilgar, and I start great with LUXRAY active and the LV.X in hand. He starts Spiritomb and starts Darkness Gracing into Gloom. Because I started with LUXRAY in hand, I can start bright looking Glooms and KOing them before they become Vileplumes. This puts me at a great advantage, and he's been searching for pieces of Machamp, so I guess he's running that specifically for SP. His mistake was benching the Machop too early, as I get my second bright look to KO it, leaving him with no way to get it back as he's already used Palmer's. I take all 6 prizes while he can only do a maximum of 90 damage with Poltergeist. That puts me at a great start to the tournament, beating one of the matchups that can be tough. Next round was against the Pokedad playing Sizewell Prime with Probopass from Arceus. This game was a little frustrating, as I don't draw into Energy or Cyrus for around 5 turns. This gives him the time to set up a Probopass fully charged, using Tumbling Attack for a maximum of 100 damage, as he didn't run many supporters. He gets a couple of KOs until I start drawing into Energy. Using a combination of Bright Look and Resistance meant that I could pick off Pokemon he placed down around Sizer on Probopass. Time is called, and I poison his Probopass for the last KO. 2-0 is great, and I'm on course for top cut. Round 3, I get paired against Tommy Roberts, currently the best player in the UK, winning numerous cities, battle roads, and eventually this tournament. He's running a combination of Gengar and Garchomp C, so I know it'll be a tough game. This game actually goes as a mirror would play, with both of us going for Garchomp, Dragonite, and Ambipom knockouts as I play around his active Gengar. It comes down to a single prize left, and he can get it on the next turn. I make a misplay by not playing the SP Radar in my hand to get rid of trainers, which would have saved me from a KO, but I completely miss it and he poltergeists my LUXRAY for the last prize. Another close game, and I'm at 2-1. After a short lunch break, round 4 is against Ryan Turr, another great player. In our past meetings, he's been playing Gyarados, but today he's running LUXCHOMP. Things go great for me as I start collecting my mirror counters, which means I can power spray his double Uxie drop, slowing him down. He also collects with Chatot MD and uses Mimic twice to get out of his small hand. I return the KO with LUXRAY and he starts getting set up. I have to use Bronzong G a lot this game, which eventually became my downfall. I had a single turn of extra turns and I took a prize, and he needed 2 to beat me. So he went ahead and used Flash Bite to KO my bench Bronzong with 80 damage, and then Dragon Rush me for the game. I look at my last prize and find the poke turn I needed to get rid of Bronzong's damage, back down to 2-2. Next round is against Liz Roberts, Tommy's mum. She is also a great player, making top cut at last year's Nationals. I know this will be a tough match, as she plays Machamp Luminion. Lucky for me, I get off to a great start and hers is slow. Managing to spray her Uxie drop for 5 put her in an even worse position. When I've taken 4 prizes, she manages to get a Machamp going, but I can answer it with Uxie-X and Lucario, which I've been preparing in the meantime. With her only Machamp gone, along with 2 Machops from earlier, she has a lone Uxie left and scoops. I'm feeling really lucky with how that game went, because I know it could have been so much worse. Last round of Swiss is here, and it's been a pretty long day already. I know that winning this game will put me in a great position to make cut, so I make sure I don't miss the chance. I'm up against a Pokedad I've played before, and he's running Yanmega with a heavy judge count. I get another great start with Ambipom and Garchomp benched, whereas he starts Uxie. I go first, attach, and pass. He has to impersonate a collector for Uxies and Sableye to get set up on his next turn. I also use collector for double LUXRAY and KO his Sableye with Flash Bites and Snap Attack. This puts him in a bad position, having to use Uxies and Super Scoop Ups to get anything going, with me spraying one of them. From then on, I Flash Impact to Yanmega before it becomes trouble, and Dragon Rush for the rest of my prizes. At one point, he did judge me at a key time, but I draw a double Uxie and draw into exactly what I need. It's a shame it didn't get going, as Yanmega can be a great contender, with one making top 8 in the end. So I find out that Ryan Turr went 4-2 and Tommy went 6-0 in Swiss. This puts me in a great position as we wait for Top Cup to be announced. The list is read out and I just make it in as 8th seed. This is great news, but means I have to play Tommy again. This time, it's best of 3. Playing Tommy is always tough, as you have to be careful of benching Uxies and Azelfs because they'll get shadow roomed by Gengar. First game goes slowly, with both of us having a drought of Cyrus. We both take a couple of prizes, but he hits the Cyrus first and he goes with it. Along with getting a Gengar Stormfront set up, he managed to get Garchomp LV.X ready for a Dragon Rush at any time. I try and stall for a while with LUXRAY GL so he can't retreat or level down my LV.X's, but by the time I could knock out his Gengar, he rolls heads on Fainting Spell and takes his last prize. On to game 2. This one doesn't go well too. I mulliganed twice at the beginning and then managed to start with Dragonite. This puts me at a strong disadvantage straight away and I don't draw another Cyrus for the whole game. His deck does what it's supposed to do, as I have to bench multiple Uxies to get the cards I need. He rare candies into Gengar turn 2 and starts to pick off my Pixies. From here on it goes downhill for me, as I can't get anything going. I take about 2 prizes by the time he's taken all 6. This ends my states and I finally place 8th, a great achievement with such a huge pool of great players. I'm very pleased with how I played, but wish the Top Cup game could have been a bit better, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. On the plus side, I pulled a reverse Smeargle from one of my packs. Congrats to Tommy for taking the title at Nottingham, and thanks to everyone I met for making it such a great day. States for this side of the pond aren't over yet, with next weekend seeing London and Bournemouth states taking place. I'll be attending London on Saturday for my last states of the season. Overall, states played out as people predicted, with a lot of LUXRAY being in top cut and winning most tournaments. Lost Skull was surprisingly sparse across the whole board, including in the states, so I guess it just won't make the impact that was predicted in the current format. Garchomp has also been doing well in the states, so I'd watch out for that too. Thanks for watching this episode of PokeClass. I hope you did well at states, and next week I'll be covering how it went in London. Thanks again, and see you next week for another PokeClass.